So, I am here to share with you more about the Success Codex, what it actually is, and how it can help you to move forward in your business. Now, the Success Codex does have a business lens, but once you understand it, once you start to work through it, can actually help you, support you with so much more. But we are essentially looking at 13 gateways and each of them shows you the path to unlock your natural genius. Now, it is a combination of human design, gene keys, and astrology. So, as you go through this, if you are familiar with any of those aspects already, you will recognize things and it will start to maybe make some sense already. But the beauty of this system is, even if you are not completely familiar with your human design system, it doesn't matter. The codex kind of has a language of its own, which means that it strips away some of the complicatedness of the other systems and just gives you the bits that you need to know. So it doesn't worry about all the other pieces. It just hones in on the information you need to know for the kind of context that we're looking at things. So when you look at the codex to start with, it will give you 13 gateways and they each have a different theme to them. And they are grouped together into four different paths. Impact path, which is to do with your visibility, the growth path, abundance, balance path, sustainability, transformation, which is change. So you'll see here the colours are actually representative of how they are grouped together in the different paths. So whenever we're working through the codex, we do one path at a time. Now, when we are looking at this, what we tend to say is the first two paths, impact and growth, tend to be more outwardly looking. They're about your visibility, abundance. The last two paths, balance and transformation, tend to be more of an internal journey that's going to support you through your business. So the first two are kind of maybe the things you're going to do outwardly in your business to have more visibility and to attract more growth. And then the last two are the things that you're going to maybe work on to help support you through the business journey. So when we do break it up into the different paths, you can actually now start to see some of the information that comes through. And like I mentioned, it's all pulled from your human design chart, gene keys, and astrology. So, for example, this midheaven you wouldn't see on your human design chart or your rising AC, but these would give you information about your leadership and your impression and your expression. So, leadership is, what people are looking to you for in terms of your leadership, the impression that you leave on people, and then Mercury, which a lot of people are actually more familiar with, which is, communication and your expression. So when you combine the three, they are obviously going to impact your impact and your visibility. Now, at the center of all four of the paths, we have the sun. Now, the sun's role overall, if you know about human design, it is the most influential of the planets. And in this particular path, it has the role of helping you with your visibility. When we move on to the next path, which is growth and abundance, it shows up as what is your brand. Now, as we start to unlock each of these different pathways, what we would then be also looking at is what's the actual information within the little circles. So when you first get your codex, this is the information that you receive. And then in the reading, I drill down into what that actually means for you. So the number that you see here is the key code, which you may recognize from your human design chart. And then afterwards, the approach is the line number. But what we're saying there is, okay, this is your key code, this is your genius, gate 14, which is in this context competence. But what's the approach you're going to take within that genius, which is guided by the line number? So I'm a line one here. Somebody else might be a two, a three, a four, a five, a six. So even somebody with the same key code in this particular gateway, they might have a different approach as to what they're going to do with it, how they're actually going to work with it. So my approach in this particular key code of attracting things in is to do with my expertise as a one line in this particular one, but it's more about the expertise that I would have learned through traditional learning style ways. If it was a three, it would say experience, which is more to do with the lived, learned experience that you would associate with a three line. So as we move through the path, we get to the ones which I mentioned are slightly more internal. So this north node is what you're moving towards in your lifetime. The flow are the is the things that's going to help you to stay in balance. This whole path is all about balance and sustainability. And when we're looking at the sun, it's the center. Like, how can you stay centered through trying to stay balanced? So, the flow and the moon is almost kind of like helping you to navigate life's ups and downs. You know, life's, whether we like it or not. And so, the moon in this particular context is going to actually help you to navigate that flow to help you keep your balance through all of it. And then structure is, quite straightforward in terms of the structures that you might create within your business or to support yourself. Then when we move on to the transformation path, we have this is more about change. So often, we want to change things in our business. We are moving through things are changing around us, whichever change that is, whether it's a change we have initiated or a change that we need to navigate. This path is going to support you with that in terms of Pluto, which is the rebirth, Black Moon Lilith, which is the permission that you may need to give yourself. And then Mars, which is the initiative, so how you actually initiate things and get things started and move forward. So all of these are trying to help you to understand what's going on and what particular energy you can lean in to support you. So there is a key code down here. All of these words give you an example of the genius that you are looking to unlock, the archetype of the genius that would embody that genius. And then we've got out of alignment and in alignment cues here. So this one particular in the center for me, this has all been my chart so far, is is pretty clear for me. I can really tell when I'm scattered. So the out of alignment cue, this second one in the italics, often is the biggest kind of place where people will start to notice whether they're in their genius or not. Because when I'm feeling scattered, I'm definitely not focused. So when I am feeling scattered, I stop and I ask myself the guiding question, which goes with this key code is, um, where can I focus my energy? Like, where do I need to focus my energy? And it brings me in from being scattered into being focused, and then I can move forward again. Um, so the last phrase here is all to do with this approach that I mentioned. So a line one here, shed attachment to my expertise in terms of moving forward and rebirthing and recreating, which is what I did when I closed my cake business. Now, I closed my cake business before I found this. And so I did actually find it interesting to look at retrospectively because I did have to shed the attachment I had to the 9 years of learning how to make cakes. It doesn't mean you're shedding your expertise. Like, I still know all that stuff, but you are shedding your attachment to it. So I had to shed attachment to the expertise that I had built up over those 9 years to be able to move on and come into something else. Um, and also all of these last piece, that is actually to do with your approach to that particular um key code. So when I am trying to, permission to do things, I have to unleash my courage. So there we go. So when it's all together, this is what the actual whole key code looks like, which can look a little bit intimidating, overwhelming when you first get it. But eventually, once you've started to work through it, you literally just have to zone in. And whenever you start to see any of these out of alignment key codes, sorry, out of alignment cues, you can start to say, oh my goodness, yes, like I'm being pedantic here. What am I trying to do? I've got that one twice. So we've got two lots of pedanticness coming along, holding me back. Um, and there's a bit of withholding, undervaluing, a bit self-obsessed, in my expression, if I'm worrying too much about how what I look like. Um, so all of this is bringing you all of this information. Now, what you actually get when you have the reading, so the Success Codex itself is this is what it gives you, which when I first discovered it, this little piece of information gave me so much to go on in terms of actually looking at how I can use this to, attract more in. How can I expand past that? How can I actually hold that? Whilst what do I have capacity for all that I'm attracting in and what I'm expanding? Um, but what you actually get with each of these when you have the full reading, um, is you get a complete breakdown of, what does that genius of the breakthrough look like? What is the archetype of the awake now? What does that actually look like? More details about the aligned cue, the unaligned cue, full details of the approach. And this is actually tailored per gateway. So you will see a different description of a line 4 approach for the Jupiter, for the Earth, etc. This is tailored purely the approach for the attraction. And then we would combine it all together and you would get your little statements to help you to actually really understand, in this particular case with this person, like how are they going to actually use this to actually help them with their attraction. And then this is an example of what the sun looks like for the growth path. So again, we've got the description and telling you about, what actually happens here. What is the sun helping us with in the growth path? We've got the description of the genius and the archetype, the aligned cue, unaligned cue, the approach, putting it all together, how we activate success, how we block success. So this particular person is going to activate success by owning how competent they are and allowing that part of themselves to lead. And they will block success by downplaying their passion, settling for doing less than what they love. So that's a little overview for you of what the Codex is all about. If you would like a reading, let me know, because I would love to share with you um, all of the lovely gorgeousness within this system. So the only thing you need to do is decide which path you think you need. So on the sales page, there is actually a description, just to go through each of these again, and it does actually say explore this path when. So it gives you like a little guidance as to what path you want to pick. Or of course, you can explore all four. Just lean into it and see which one do you feel drawn to. Maybe as you've been listening to this or you read the descriptions, but which one do you want to start with? And I look forward to reading your codex soon.